Good morning, students. Today we will study about lesson 4, that is the second phase of the Indian national movement.
Here in this chapter, we have to learn about the cause of the partition of Bengal, its perspective by the nationalist, brief mention of Surat split of 1907, objective method of struggle of the assertive nationalist, and any contribution of Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal and Lala Lajpat Rai. So Lord Curzon's tenures of office as a viceroy 1899 to 1905 was marked with controversies. One of his administrative measures that resulted in strong resentment was the partition of Bengal in 1905, which was considered as a concerted attack on Indian nationalism. Now, what was the scheme of the partitions? The presidency of Bengal was the most thickly populated provinces in British India. It comprised Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, Chota Nagpur and some other remote area. It extended over an area of 4,89,500 square kilometers with a huge population of over 80 millions. On July 20, 1905, Lord Curzon announced the division of the provinces of Bengal in the following two provinces. Bengal, which include the western district of Bengal proper, Bihar, Odisha, with a population of 54 million. Kolkata was made its capital. Eastern Bengal and Assam, which comprised the eastern district of Bengal proper, Assam, with a population of 31 million. Dhaka was the capital of the new provinces of Eastern Bengal and Assam. The scheme of the partition of Bengal was implemented on October 16, 1905. Now, what were the causes that led to the partitions? The main motives for the partition of Bengal, according to the British ruler, was administrative necessity. They said that Bengal was too big to be administered, and however the official who worked on the plan has cancelled motives. Bengal was the nerve centers of Indian nationalism at the time, so the British hoped to stop the rising tide of nationalism by partitioning Bengal. So they gave the issue that it was very big area, it was could not be controlled, but the real reason was to stop the increase of nationalism among the people. The anti-partition movements. People started strong movements against the partitions known as the anti-partition movement. The partition of Bengal led to a mighty upsurge which brought people and political leaders together. So, the leader condemned partitions through newspapers like Bengali and Sanjina Bani. The anti-partition movement was initiated on August 7, 1905. People's reactions towards the partitions. The partition came into effect on October 16, 1905. The leaders of the protest movement declared it a day of national mourning throughout Bengal. It was observed as a day of fasting. There were hartal in Kolkata. People walked barefooted and bathed in the Ganga in the early morning. The street of Kolkata was full of the cries of Bande Mataram, which became the theme song of the national movement. Rabindranath Tagore composed the patriotic song Amar Sonar Bengal, My Golden Bengals. So there was lot of oppositions by the peoples towards the partitions. The ceremonies of Raksha Bandhan was celebrated in a new way. Hindu and Muslim tied Rakhis, a yellow thread on one another's wrist as a symbol of unbreakable unity of the Bengalis and the two halves of the Bengals. Now, what was the impact of the anti-Bengal movement? The impact was the partition of Bengal along with the anti-partition movement accelerate the national movement by spreading it among the general mass. Second thing, the ideals of Swadeshi and boycott born of the popular feeling in 1905 took shape, and it was realized that Swadeshi and boycott was complementary and one could not succeed without the other. Second thing, the spirit of Swadeshi spread to almost every walk of life, industries, education, culture, literature, etc. The people lost their faith in the fair play and justice of the British government. Lord Curzon refused to concede to the demand annulling the partitions. He said partition of Bengal is a settled fact and what is settled cannot be unsettled. The partition of Bengal was revoked in 1911. A new scheme of partitions of Bengals was implemented on linguistic rather than on religious ground. And according to that, the Surat split was there. The Swadeshi movements cast a shadow on the growing difference between the early nationalists and the assertive nationalists, wanted to extend the Swadeshi boycott to the rest of India and make it a vehicle for full-fledged political mass struggles leading to Swaraj. The early nationalists, however, did not approve it for the whole of India. Moreover, the early nationalists did not want to extend open support to boycott, which was in conflict with their policy of petition and persuasions. Early nationalists and the assertive nationalists sank their difference and passed a resolution at the Calcutta session in 1906 condemning the partition of Bengal. The dispute between the two wings of the Congress on the issue of Swadeshi, Swaraj and national education was not resolved. At the same time, there was a disagreement regarding the candidatures of the next president. And finally, Dadabhai Naoroji, who was respected by both the groups, became the president in 1906. The difference between the two sections continued and they surfaced again in the next session in 1907 at Surat. The early nationalists proposed the name of Lala Lajpat Rai as president at the Surat session, and the early nationalists proposed the name of Ras Bihari Ghosh. When the session at Surat began in December 1907, there was utter confusion, and this led to the split in the Congress, and the assertive nationalist leaders were expelled, and for 9 years they remained out of the Congress. The split in the Congress was unfortunate because it gave an opportunity to the British to exploit the situation to their advantage. Now, the assertive nationalists. In the second phase of the national movement, there emerged a new and young groups of leaders within the Congress who do not agree with the method and ideology of the early nationalist leader. And these angry young men stood for complete Swaraj to be achieved by more self-reliant methods. Now, causes for the rise of the assertive nationalist. There were many causes that led to the rise of the assertive nationalist. One of the causes, recognition of the true nature of the British government. The assertive nationalists were able to recognize the true nature of the British government. Failure of the early nationalists. The early nationalists were loyal to the crown and their political objective was to improve their chance of getting seat in the central, provincial legislatures or judicial service, which I have explained in the previous lesson. The assertive nationalists accused the early nationalists of limiting their activities to the middle class of the society. And economic conditions. Already the economic condition was the British has exploited the economic conditions, and there were famines which ravaged India from 1896 to 1900 and took a toll of 190 lakhs lives. The government did nothing and to help the people. On the other hand, it spent a huge amount of money on the Silver Jubilee celebrations of Queen Victoria's accession to the throne. Second, growing consciousness among the Indians. Now the Indians has start believing in the nationalism movements. They have self-respect, and leader of this new ideology made all efforts to develop self-respect and self-confidence among the peoples. Influences of international events were some of the causes that led to the rise of the assertive nationalism. Growth of education and employment was one of the factors. Ill treatment of Indian abroad, existence of national schools of thoughts were some of the causes that led to the cause or rise of the early nationalists. At the same time, the repressive policy of Lord Curzon was one of the most important causes for the rise of the early nationalists. And partition of Bengal was already there, which led to the rise of the early nationalism. Now, main objective of the assertive nationalism. The assertive nationalists aimed at nothing short of Swaraj as it exists in the United Nations. They also used certain methods like Swadeshi movement, boycott movements, national education, passive resistance, and personal sacrifice, mass involvement. These were some of the methods used by the assertive nationalists in order to gain or in order to create a feeling of nationalism among the people. At the same time, what was the achievements of the early nationalists? The early nationalists, these leaders were able to inculcate national feeling among the people. They gave new slogans to the Indian nationalist movement like non-cooperation. They spoke, wrote and edited many newspapers, and through their writing speech they infused in the Indians the spirit of active nationalism. There were many leaders whose contributions was great in this field like Bal Gangadhar Tilak. His contribution like Demander of Swaraj preached nationalism, established home rule movement, and was also called the forerunners of the Mahatma Gandhi. Bipin Chandra Pal, his contributions were his role as a journalist, national education, social and economic reforms were there, and Lala Lajpat Rai was here. Lala Lajpat Rai was popularly known as Punjab Kesari. His contributions were he was an educationist and a forceful writer. He was a social reformer who associated with the Arya Samaj movements, and his political work outside India was well known. So this was the contributions of all the important leader of the assertives, and here we have to know about the Surat split, we have to know about the partitions, we have to know about the rise of the assertive nationalists and cause for the rise of the assertive nationalists and main objective of the assertive nationalism. The other I will teach you in the next sessions.